I've been struggling for a little bit now with how to present this topic. I want to talk about an interesting phenomenon that I've experienced recently with video games, which is that I stopped gaming for months. And when I jumped back into it, it felt better than ever. And I crave games far less than I ever did. Now, when I play a game, it's just a nice moment of relaxation. It's a brief escape. And I'm playing games in a completely different way than I ever did before, while playing them way, way less than I ever did. I'm enjoying the hobby more, spending less time on it. And I want to talk about that. Now, my initial instinct is to make a clickbait title like something about gaming addiction, how to quit gaming, that kind of thing. But I think there's too much dialogue out there that is very black and white about video games. Black and White is a fantastic video game, by the way. There's too much dialogue out there that is games are bad, games are good. Quit playing games, keep playing games. We think that this is positive, we think that this is negative, so on and so on and so on. And it's been this way forever, and it's like this with everything. People do this whole dialogue, especially on the internet, where something is either bad or good and you have to pick a side. Well, I want to present my experience with backing off a lot on playing games and then coming back into it. I've had a previous episode that is about not playing games. This is now further down the road, a deeper, hopefully more insightful take on taking a break from games and then returning to it as someone who wants to develop games and hopefully at some point make some amount of money off of selling my games. So, with that all out of the way, let's jump into this rather deep and wide topic. This is Game Develop Repeat. I'm your host, Chris, and forgive me if my voice is just a little bit off today. I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm doing everything that I can to keep the episode sounding presentable, especially since this topic is so important to me. Let's get into it. A lot has been said about whether games are good or bad for you, about when somebody is gaming too much, about whether or not games cause violence, are they wasting your time, are they rotting your mind, so on and so on and so on. This has been a thing for as long as games have existed, and there was the whole panic around video games causing violence, which is sort of similar to the whole satanic panic around Dungeons and Dragons, right? It's like, people who think this are really misunderstanding how people engage in video games. Like D&D is not about Satanism, it's about creative exercises with a bunch of your friends. And in the same way, video games are not about violence, they're about gameplay mechanics and stories and all of these other things. It's a bit odd, but there is something to be said about playing too many video games. And it's something that I want to talk about because there is a conversation that has to be had about playing games to the point of not enjoying them. Playing games to the point where you're not really playing games, you're just killing time. And I want to make this distinction because for all of the conversations that I've listened to about video game addiction and whether or not you're enjoying games and how we engage in games and loot box mechanics and addictive design and World of Warcraft and MMOs and subscriptions and all of this stuff, for all those conversations that I've listened to, somehow none of them have quite gotten the point across to me in the way that my own experiences have, which is, I guess, how experiencing something works, right? But I want to see if I can phrase this in a different way, in a different angle that gets the point across to people who are like me and just didn't get it when other people talk about this. So there's this framing of when is something a problem? When is something an addiction? When are you doing something so often that it is getting in the way of your normal life, right? People will say, do you have a problem with playing video games? Well, if it's getting in the way of your day-to-day life, then yes, probably. But if you've got a problem with something, it doesn't feel like it's getting in the way of your day-to-day life. It is your day-to-day life. And you go, no, it's not getting in the way of it. This is just how I live my life. What do you mean? Right? It's been enabled to the point where you just go, yeah, this is a normal thing. This is how I experience life. I don't have a problem. This is how it is. So that's one angle that I think is interesting and oddly useless when somebody says, oh, well, is it interfering with this, that, the other? It's like nobody's going to actually self-diagnose on those criteria, I don't think. People aren't going to be like, oh, maybe I should play less games. It does seem that I'm neglecting this thing, that thing, and the other. It's like, no, I don't know. For some reason, that just doesn't hit. So I've got a completely different angle on this. I think you should stop playing games when they're no longer games. You should stop playing games when you're not enjoying them. And in order to do this, and this is the part that's really freaky and really weird, you can't just go, oh, I'm not really enjoying games. You have to feel the fact that you are not enjoying the game. You have to check in with yourself every few minutes while you're playing a game, and you have to pause and say, am I enjoying this? Yes or no. Is this a good time? How do I feel? And then you start back up the game, and then you pause again after 5 minutes, and you go, am I enjoying this? Is this a good time? Right? Is this a good use of my time? I think those were the three questions I ran into when I ran into this whole thing. It was, how do I feel right now? Am I enjoying myself? Is this a good use of my time? Just every 5 minutes, and then eventually you go, oh, it turns out I'm not enjoying this. And something about pausing and checking in with yourself while you are gaming makes you feel the fact that it does nothing for you. It makes you go, oh, wait, I'm not actually enjoying myself. I just think I'm enjoying myself. So if you reach the point where you have this sneaking suspicion that maybe you're not actually enjoying playing this video game, maybe you're actually feeling a bit like you're just killing time, and at the end of it you go, what did I just do with the last however many hours? Well, maybe you need to take a little breather there, bud. Maybe it's time to check in with yourself while you're gaming and see if you enjoy it. Not necessarily even because you go, oh, this is a problem and I need to work on this and that and the other, but for the respect of this thing that you loved so much at some point. And I know that this is the weirdest, most bizarre way to frame this, but hear me out. You enjoy video games for a reason. You love playing games because they were important to you at some point. They're formative. There was something you enjoyed. There's some experience that they gave you, and then you just got used to it, and you kept going, and you kept going, and kept going, and you become numb to it. You take it for granted. There's something to be said for just respecting that hobby so much that you step away from it. Respecting the hobby to the degree that you go, I'm not enjoying this, so I'm going to step back. I'm going to take myself out of this, and I'll come back a little bit when I'm feeling it again, when I'm no longer taking it for granted, when I can spend a couple hours a week and really enjoy it, rather than spending as much time as I can trying to pound through these games so I can finish my catalog because maybe one of these games is incredible and maybe I'll enjoy myself in this one or that one or the other one. You become numb to it. Get rid of that tolerance that you built up over the years. Let yourself enjoy these experiences again. Rather than cramming as many games as you can into your life, give yourself space, and every once in a while, just tuck into a really good game for just a couple hours. Just sink your teeth in. That's the word I'm looking for. Just go, oh, this will be nice. Spend a couple hours. But if you feel like you have to play a game, if you feel like you have to finish it, if you feel this, that, the other, it's time to take a step back, I think. Now, that's my angle. Maybe somebody's got a different angle. Maybe somebody who wants to just keep playing all day, every day. I got you. I've been there. I don't necessarily think it's great. I think it's not a very enjoyable way to game. There's something to be said for the occasional binge. I get it. But, man, games are so much more fun when they're a small little slice. Just a tiny little slice in your week where you go, ooh, what a fun experience. And then you step away as soon as it starts to become like, it's kind of a slog. I'm out. You don't have to commit to finishing any game. You don't have to commit to finishing any quest. You can just go, no, whenever I'm done playing, I'm done playing. The point of the game is not to finish it. It's to enjoy it. It's really easy to lose sight of that. Here's the big question. What does this mean in terms of developing video games? For me, For me, it means that the experience is more important than the amount of time that it takes. Although some stories have to be told over a longer period of time, and sometimes you just want a longer game. And then it also means not to use manipulative little tricks, not to do these mental games where you keep somebody hooked in, I guess. Now, there are fine lines in here. There are collectathons that kind of use some mental hooks, and there are shiny objects and so on and so on. But I think if your motivations are in line, then you'll be okay. I know that's an odd take, but if your motivation is to make an enjoyable experience for people and to sell it at a reasonable price, a one-time reasonable price, then you probably won't make horrific game mechanics that keep people coming back every day for the rest of their life when they don't actually want to and aren't enjoying the game. I'm looking at you, MMORPGs. But if your incentive is to keep somebody paying month to month or to get them to buy every single DLC that you release, then we start running into some weird stuff. We start running into how do we keep this player on the hook no matter what? How do we keep them playing year after year after year after year, even if they're not necessarily enjoying it? Can we just make it addictive? You think you see what I'm saying. The focus needs to be on making an enjoyable experience. That to me is a core part of my game design philosophy. I want to make a good game, an enjoyable game, an experience that somebody can play and then walk away from it. If they want to revisit it, if they want to spend extra time in it, and if they want to keep going at it because it brings them a lot of comfort and joy, then so be it. Stardew Valley is a great example of a game that people can spend thousands of hours in. That is not at all doing some weird, evil, manipulative thing. It's just an amazing game, and some people are extremely enticed by it and want to spend a lot of time in that world. The motivations are in line. The developer has a single price, has been providing free updates because he wants to provide that for the players. That's wonderful. Are some people going to maybe develop a little bit of an unhealthy Stardew Valley habit? Probably, but you can't control how everyone responds to your game. What you can do is create the best thing you can that is going to provide value to a lot of people. And to be honest, there are way worse things than being hooked on a charming game that puts you into a nice, kind world where you can feel a little safer and digest whatever it is that you need to digest while you play that game. Maybe you just need to step away for a while. Maybe you've been through some stuff and that game is helping you work through that. Maybe it's inspiring you to change the way that you're living your life. The playing one game a lot is not the problem. It's the way the game is designed. And as a game designer, I want to ensure that I'm respecting the player because I have been disrespected. And so have so many of us. There have been so many games that I play where I go, look, it's a good game and all, but like, come on, do you gotta do this to me? Do you really have to make me do this weird grind? Do you really have to provide that incentive? Is that gonna make this game any better? Can't we just have a good game and have it have a beginning, middle, and end? Do you need to put 120 plus hours on the box by adding a zone that you have to grind through for 20 plus hours? You know, there are just so many little things where I go, come on. That's not in the spirit of making a good, enjoyable experience. That's in the spirit of bumping your playtime. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's just that somebody on the dev team loves grinding. So be it. All right, fair enough. I like a good grind as much as the next guy, but I think that it is essential that video games exist as a part of the rest of your life. I do not like this thing that happens where video games become the dominant hobby in your entire life. I want to go weightlifting. I want to go hiking. I want to go doing all of these other things. I want to create stuff. I can't be spending all my time playing games. Excuse me, I'm on the verge of coughing, and I'm really trying not to cough right now. I can't be spending all my time playing games. And I don't want to design games that force you to spend all your time playing them. I just so firmly believe that gaming needs to be seen differently than we kind of see it. I think that as a culture, gaming has entered this place where it is a thing that you do at the cost of the rest of your life. I think that gaming is a thing where you no life it, you disappear from the rest of society, you take a week off of your job, you take your whole vacation just so you can grind this game, right? There's so much intensity around gaming. There's so much like serious hardcore MLG nonsense that happens sometimes, and I just don't agree with it. And there's so much beauty in gaming, and I think that if you just look online and you just look on forums and whatnot, you don't see the beauty in gaming. You see this like horrific vitriol. You see people arguing over politics in games somehow, and you see people doing these incredibly aggressive rants about this mechanic or this small patch note or this thing and that thing and the other, and the heavy investment. And yes, people love games, and that's great. It's a beautiful thing. But like, chill out. It's okay, right? That it is a slice of your life, not your entire life. And if it is your entire life, then please, come on, do something, do something else. Get out there a little bit, expand a little bit, expand your horizons a little. However you can do that. Now, I love gaming. It is my favorite art form. It's beautiful. It's a combination of so many of my favorite things. I love game mechanics. I love the art. I love the animation. I love the music. I love the sound design. I love the story. And I grew up with it. And I enjoy it so much more. And I get so much more value out of it when I'm not letting it be the majority of my time, when I'm forcing it to be a little treat, a little something once a week. I spend less time gaming than I do working out. I spend less time gaming than I do pretty much any other thing. And I think that's how it should be. And it's weird for me to say that as a guy who is making a podcast about games and has been doing it for over 2 years, as a guy who did Twitch streams multiple times a week, spent a lot of time developing games, has been playing since before I was 5 years old. I think that the best place for gaming to be is in a nice little corner where I can go, I can enjoy it for 2 hours, and then I can come back out. And maybe that's not the same for everybody, but I genuinely feel that that is one of the best ways to experience this hobby. In the same way that art is more meaningful if you go see it in a museum once in a blue moon versus just having it hanging up in your house and you see it every day and you go, oh, that's nice, but I'm kind of used to it. We don't want to build up a tolerance to beautiful things. You know? You don't want to take it for granted. And I don't want to make games that force the player to take it for granted, that force the player to think about it constantly, to never let it leave their mind, to be obsessed with it, infatuated with it, to just profoundly, horrifically addicted to this product, this like hideous monstrosity masquerading as a game. I don't want that. And I don't know. It's hard to put into words so precisely, but I hope that I put it into words as effectively as I can. Let me try to summarize this in one quick little snippet, right? Let me just try to coalesce all of these thoughts into one tight little takeaway. Games are meant to be enjoyed as a treat. Games are meant to be a treat, not the whole meal, right? Your life is the whole meal. The game is a little dessert. And I just think that the culture of gaming treats games as half of the plate. You know? Come home from work, game. No. Come home from work, do all this stuff, do all this, that, the other, enjoy whatever you can, watch a sunset, maybe play a game for an hour on the weekend. I know this is an odd take from a gaming podcast, but this is how I feel about it. I really think we'll all enjoy the hobby more if we engage with it a lot less. I've only got one question for you today, and that is, what is a special moment that you've had while playing video games? Was there a moment that stuck out to you, something that made you go, wow, that is incredible. That is something I've never thought about before, experienced before, or it just made you cry, it made you feel connected to something. What sticks out to you? When you look through all your experiences in gaming, maybe it was, oh my god, I can't believe they pulled that off. What a moment of technical genius in terms of like game design or programming or animation or battle designs or whatever it may be. Was there something that stands out and makes you go, oh, that makes me love gaming? That right there. For me, right at this moment, I'm feeling that way about some stuff in Expedition 33. Now, I'm not going to go in on details because it's a brand new game and I don't want to spoil things for you, but I'm feeling that way about some of the writing in Expedition 33. It's making me feel like I know why I play video games. It's making me go, oh yeah, this is why. This is why. This is what I've been missing, and maybe I'm just not going to play anything that doesn't hit close to this level, you know? Maybe from now on, we just play the stuff that really has a profound impact. Now, there's a lot of those games out there, and you can't always know which one it's going to be, but you can ditch it as soon as you go, oh, this isn't going to be it. You know? You can move on to something else. And then you're just losing the money you spent on the game, and you're not losing all of that time and building up this weird tolerance to games that aren't quite for you. So that's the question. What special moments have you had while playing a video game? That's everything I have for you this week. Thank you for joining me. As always, I really appreciate it. I know this has been a weird one, and I've had some opinions that you may disagree with, but rest assured, they're just my opinions. I'm not right. I'm just a guy with a microphone. I have no real, there's no real power here. It's just me stating an opinion, and if you disagree with my game should just be this little slice of your life thing, then so be it. Maybe you know better. Maybe your life is just totally different from mine, right? Fair enough. But this is how I feel. This is how I'm doing things for myself. That is everything that I have for you guys this week. Thank you again for joining me. Until next week, get out there, make some stuff, and have fun with it. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.